So there is that big negative effect yet to run through the economy, and the Reserve Bank appear to be of the view that if they were to keep tightening over the next couple of months or so, they would run the risk of unnecessarily throwing the economy into a recession when frankly their job probably has already been done. Well, hello again, everybody, and welcome to another weekly commentary from myself on behalf of NZHL. I'm going to be talking about interest rates and where things are likely to go in that regard. And the problem I have doing that at the moment is that, frankly, the commentary I make today could actually be the same as I make in 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, conceivably even 9 months' time. You see, the issue is our central bank has undertaken a lot of tightening of monetary policy over the past year and a half, 2 years. They've taken the official cash rate from the record low of 0.25% up to 5.5%, and they said recently that they don't anticipate having to take it higher. Probably they won't have to take it any higher than that, but you can't 100% rule that out. These remain extremely uncertain times that we've been through, and I'm not sure I've mentioned this before or not, but if you think back to 3 years ago, we had a unique pandemic environment. None of us had experienced it before, so it's not surprising. Pretty much everybody's forecasts were wrong, especially when it came to things to do with the housing market. Now we are in a unique post-pandemic environment. None of us have lived through this before, and no miracle has happened to give us a forecasting ability now that we did not have 3 or so years ago. So just be prepared still for the environment you operate in to be very uncertain out there. And with interest rates, it's like anything is possible. I guess the thing going in favour here of interest rates probably having peaked, that we can see what the worst case scenario is in terms of 1 year fixed mortgage rates around about 6.8%, that sort of thing, that there is a lot of the negative impact of higher interest rates, which is yet to be felt on the economy, which is yet to lead to decreasing growth, decreasing inflationary pressures. And that's because, unlike in Australia, where most people borrow at a floating mortgage rate, so a monetary policy change there sort of hits in relatively straight away. Here in New Zealand, ever since the fixed mortgage rates appeared in about 1990, we've jumped onto them wholesale. We absolutely love them. And even though somebody asks me now and then, why don't the banks in New Zealand offer 30-year fixed rate terms? Well, frankly, we hardly ever fix longer than 3 years, as I think many of you have now learnt to your discomfort. You did not take on board what I was saying late 2020, early 2021 with regard to fixed 5 years for 2.99% at the time. We tend to fix for just 1 or 2 years. And of course, we've got maybe about $150 billion worth of mortgage rate debt rolling off, about 3.5% 1-2 year fixed interest rates in the past couple of years or so, into 6.5% or so at the moment. That negative cash flow impact on the economy is now going to be rolling through over the remainder of this year and through into 2024. It means not very good times for the bulk of retailers out there as we exercise restraint generally in our spending, and so the ability of businesses to increase their prices even as their costs maybe still go up a bit further is going to be relatively constrained. So there is that big negative effect yet to run through the economy, and the Reserve Bank appear to be of the view that if they were to keep tightening over the next couple of months or so, they would run the risk of unnecessarily throwing the economy into a recession when frankly their job probably has already been done. So, in most of the stuff I've been writing for a long time now, apart from late 2020, early 2021, basically saying, fix 5 years, I've been saying if I was borrowing, I'll be fixing in the 1 or 2 year area, and that is still the position I find myself in at the moment. If I were taking on board a fresh mortgage for a house purchase, whatever, I'd be either fixing 1 year or 2 year. Maybe I'd do what most people seem to be doing, and that's either doing a mixture of 1 and 2 years or fixing just for 18 months. That seems to be a relatively popular term at the moment. But my main message here is that things don't seem to be changing quickly enough out there any longer to lead me with an expectation that I'm going to be radically altering what I say in the next few weeks' time. Frankly, heading into the election, maybe what I say in October is still pretty much what I'm saying at the moment. Fixing, personally in the 1 to 2 year area. Obviously, the closer we get to interest rates falling at some stage, at some point over 2024, one would want to move back to favouring the 1 year period. But there's just enough uncertainty out there with regard to international inflation in particular that, like I say, I personally would be mix and matching with maybe the 1 to 2 year terms. All the best out there.